ahead, Alba.
Let me just, Councilmember Yaffe,
Here.
Councilmember Tricoche,
Here.
Councilmember Salver,
Here.
Councilmember Reed,
Here.
Councilmember Leonard,
Here.
Vice Mayor Fuller,
Here.
Mayor Bruder.
Here. Okay, well, I'm not doing item number 1. So item number 2, request for withdrawals, deferments, and future agenda items. Council? Does anybody have anything? No? Okay.
What, I
Manager-
have a question.
Yeah.
Considering Marlene's retirement, we should probably have an agenda item at a future meeting to discuss what we want to do in regards to the filling the role. As far as the discussion item, we should put that on the next agenda to discuss it now.
Okay, we can do that. So that will be for October's meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Anybody else? Nope. Okay, let's move on to number 3, manager's report.
I just wanted to mention real quickly that we got an email that Oliver's skate park is going to be closing from the 5th through the 11th for a project that they're doing to repainting the area and in a cool way, whatever that means, and doing some I guess safety stuff for them. Also wanted to, I already, it's been mentioned, the wood poles were removed today. And I think that one of the things Jordan wanted to bring up was the freebie and where we are with regard to that, because it relates to transportation and the minibus and the future plans that we had to change that around with the other cities. It ended in Surfside's lap. They are going through some changes of their own. Their finance director, Jason Green, is now the interim manager there. We checked with him. The new council was going through almost every contract that they have. This was one of them. They are moving forward with it, but they're in the middle of drafting the RFP, and we'll be advertising it soon. I'll get more details on the exact dates for you and let you know either in my report or in the next month's agenda. But they are moving forward with it. The it's on legal right now, and they're drafting the RFP to go out. So.
Marlene, can I just briefly speak about that? I just, so the council's aware, I don't remember if it was a while since we discussed it, but that you're correct. I wanted to bring that up. I did mention it, and with the new mayor who came in, and I also spoke at one of their council meetings, or I'm sorry, commission meetings, and it was pretty much unanimous that they wanted to move forward and bring that, to put it out to bid, so that way we can bid it and all 3 of our municipalities can get this approved and get it done. But at the time, that was with the previous manager, and even though we knew that the finance director was going to be doing it, the previous manager was still there. So do you know how much longer it's going to take for them to actually put it out? Because it's been a couple months since I spoke at their commission meeting.
Yeah, the last I have is that they're almost done with the RFP, but it is still being reviewed by legal, and they will go to the clerk next to advertise. They were going to reach out to get some ideas on where to advertise it. So I will be contacting them, and he's going to contact Paul Harbor also as well regarding that. So I don't have a hard and fast timeline, but I'll let you know more once I speak to him again.
All right, thank you.
Stephanie, I've actually got one question for Marlene, if I may. Marlene, I know that we sent out a text today about the census. What is our current response rate?
54.4.
Okay. Other than sending out texts, is there anything else we're planning on doing, or anything else anybody else on the council can recommend it's essential that we try and increase the number rapidly before the end of the month and the last date.
How about reverse? You know how we have our reverse? We can maybe call people on the reverse and also call, maybe put flyers in each one of the buildings to let them know how important this is, and, you know, not to be, I think people are concerned with COVID, you know, opening the door or.
Is-
We have, just so you know, we're advertising it on the website, on social media, everywhere on social media. The reverse 911, like you were calling, it's what we're doing. Those texts are from that. We're reaching out by email. We're reaching out by text. We have it set so that we have a different message going out. And as we get closer to the end, we're going to do it almost daily. And later on, we're going to do a couple of voice ones. I think people respond better to, or they have been responding better to the text. It's not as annoying as the long message that you get and you don't even get to the end of it. You just look at it and you see it's a shorter message, but it has had some impact because we've improved a few points since we started doing that. So, and then, you know, we'll try to see if we can do the flyers and distribute them.
Okay.
Let me ask Marlene, on that same thing, is there, I mean, I know we don't have a complete list of all the condo board presidents, but the names and numbers we do have, is there any way just simply we can have outreaches directly to them to see if they can call their residents in each of the buildings? I mean, this is an essential thing to get people to report themselves.
Yeah, we don't have a complete list, but we do have a somewhat of a list. They change presidents every once in a while, but yeah, we can try to do that. We can try to reach out to this on the
Please do. Please do. Thanks.
What are we doing in conjunction with the actual census people that are on the ground working? Because they actually have people that are going door to door right now. What is being done to coordinate with them to make sure they have access to get inside buildings, that kind of thing? I mean, we should be doing everything possible to help them do their jobs. So there are people going around every day.
Yes,
The
only thing that we revise is that they were in the ground, to let people know that they were in the ground. There has been no outreach directly to us, other than some emails letting us know that they were here and to let the residents know that they were here, which we are doing. But there has been no direct coordination of getting them in the door. We cannot get in the door ourselves most of the time.
Well,
you know,
I would recommend that we actually reach out to them, because it's in our best financial interest to make sure that we get as many people as counted as possible and do everything in our power legally to help the people that are getting paid to you know, do the actual census count to make sure that they do have access. I mean, I know from, you know, past years and the police department, I mean, we're pretty good at getting into places that we need to. I think we need to step it up and do our part to help these people do their jobs. I mean, the idea that, you know, if we have a low census count, you know, how are we going to be able to explain it to the residents for the next decade that we're going to increase our taxes or cut services because we're not generating as much revenue as we should? Because to be quite honest, we just didn't work right now. I think we need to reach out to them, not wait for them to reach out to us in the next 2 weeks, to be quite honest.
I have a question. How do we know that 54% is not our rate of homesteaded properties? Can we check with the property appraiser to see, you know, not get an exact list, but to see what percent it should be our goal? Because on the buildings, I mean, I know a lot of buildings that have a lot of second homeowners and might only be at about 50% for homesteaded properties. And a lot of the newer construction that have like 40 units, I doubt very seriously. I know of one that has maybe 2 full-time residents. So maybe we are on target. How do we know we're not?
I can tell you that the last census were around 65%.
Okay.
And I can tell you that there's definitely a COVID impact to this, because we are actually one of the highest cities around here. We're higher than Miami Beach. We're higher than Surfside, which is higher than Bal Harbor. We're higher than except for North Miami. Pretty much, we're even higher than other places like Aventura. So we're not doing that bad. We could do better. We can definitely do better, and we will do our best to try to improve that number. I know how important it is that number go up. So,
But Marlene, that's percentage of response, but how do we know what percentage of full-time primary residents we have? I think the PA's office could tell us.
we could try to find that number.
Yeah, I just want to go on, I just want to put on the record the fact that the county, in efforts to raise awareness and participation in the 2020 census, is spending millions and millions of dollars. And on top of that, there are additional millions and millions of dollars being spent by organizations that are not governmental, charitable organizations, et cetera, to get out, kind of get out the folks to participate in the census. So, I know although we're a small community, we got to do what we can to get the maximum response, but the public, the listening public should understand that the county is spending literally millions and millions of dollars to make sure that the voices of Miami-Dade County are heard.
So Marlene, can you, just following up, can you reach out to them?
Sure.
And can you do that?
Sure.
All right, thank you.
By the way, every time we send a text, we do see a number. So it was like 52 point something last time I checked, and it's 54.4 now. So it is having somewhat of an effect.
Okay, so let's keep texting away and see if we can just raise it more and more. I like the text better than the phone myself, so.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else? No? Okay, council reports? Anybody have anything? Nope. Okay, public comments, Alba?
Yes, we do have Kathleen Kennedy.
Okay, Ms. Kennedy, please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, Kathleen Kennedy, 9180 West Bay Harbor Drive. I don't know what the budget is for the community. Well, I guess I'm going to talk about that another time. I want to talk about item number 5. Is this the time to talk about it, or do I wait?
Right, you can talk about it now because then we're going to go to our consent agenda. So why don't you, now's the time.
Talk about it now?
Yes, please.
Okay. I noticed that there's a request for another town truck for an F-150 for the police department. Is the council aware that in 2019, I don't ever remember this meeting, and I've just about attended every meeting, that you guys, and it's already paid for, have a Dodge Charger already purchased, paid for, that's sitting waiting to be picked up. You have another Chevy Tahoe, also purchased, waiting for pickup. And now you want somebody's requesting another car, I guess for another cop, who, by the way, who chased an alcoholic down the street instead of just like taking it easy down the Kane Concourse. And you have a white lorry, well, you can call it lorry back home. We have a white truck sitting in the parking lot. It's like a dealership in the parking lot. I want to know if you guys have gone to the parking lot to see what these are all toys to these police officers. First of all, if you can answer my question, has somebody picked up the Dodge Charger already paid for, purchased in 2019, and the Chevy Tahoe already paid for, sitting, waiting for pickup? Can somebody please answer that question for me?
We have a program.
Somebody from the police department or the legal department that can verify that?
Actually, can you promote the chief, Abba? But I'm gonna say that we have a regular program of, changing vehicles. Some of them are being, the old ones are being sold. This is a particular vehicle that was, resulted from an accident that was totaled, and it's being replaced. It is not a new vehicle to the fleet. And it is custom. Are you promoting the chief?
No, Marlene, I'm talking about the Dodge Charger that was paid for in 2019 and the Chevy Tahoe that's already, both these cars are waiting to be picked up and nobody has picked them up, paid for.
I understand the question, Mrs. Kennedy. Just one second.
Chief Lima is on Zoom, so he can speak on the item.
Chief, can you tell us if there are cars that we've paid for that we have not picked up?
Ms. Kennedy is partially correct that we had the Dodge delivered today. When she says picked up, the cars weren't ready to be picked up because once we purchase them, they have to be outfitted with all the emergency equipment. And there's been a delay on it because of COVID-19, getting the parts in and so forth. It hasn't been our delay. It's been the people that we use. And we use two different vendors to outfit the cars. So the Dodge was delivered today, and that'll be issued. When we finish the meeting, I'll be issuing it out.
When did we order this car? And you're telling me that we ordered it in 2019 and we just got
That's not, that it takes approximately 4 months to receive the car through the state bid, sometimes a little longer. And then once we receive the car, we take him to one of the dealers that we use to have him outfitted with the safety equipment, which is the lights, the cage, the radios, and so forth.
Okay, but when did we purchase the car? When did we get it? And when did it go to the dealership?
And how much?
Wait 1 second, Miss Kennedy. When did it go to the dealership? Because it was purchased in 2019. We're almost done with 2020.
1 second. The actual date, they were ordered October of 2019. The Dodge came in February, and then it went to the dealer that we call it. It's the person that actually installing the emergency equipment, and it's been there, and we just got it back today. It hasn't been our delay to get the vehicle at all. It hasn't been our doing. It's been the fact that everybody's been delayed because of COVID.
Okay, and what about the other vehicle that Miss Kennedy is discussing?
Is a Chevy Tahoe, and it hasn't been, they've still been working on it. We've been calling every other day to see the status of it. It's close to getting it within the next week, but it's still not ready. And that's just about this.
If we have 2 of these cars, why do we need another one right now?
Well,
I mean, we're talking about a year from now.
Yeah, let me try to make it as quickly as possible. We have a total of 19 vehicles and 5 marked vehicles. I'm sorry, 19 marked vehicles, 5 unmarked vehicles, and 1 vehicle, which is a Tahoe that we haven't had it, which gives us 25 vehicles. We have 23 budgeted positions, and we have 21 that are actually filled, plus the SRO, which is 22. Out of those 22, we have a total of 25 vehicles. Once we get the other vehicle, that would leave 2 spare vehicles marked and 2 spare vehicles unmarked.
Yeah.
So we have ordered one that we haven't received yet, not at fault of us. We have been calling all the time. It should be ready pretty soon. And we're targeting it to be delivered by Wednesday. But again, we had him say that before, and we haven't received it on time.
Let me ask something, if I may. So let me understand this. I'm not going to question that, your desire for the additional cars. I'm going to trust in you in that. My question becomes this, though. So am I correct in understanding we placed orders for 2 different cars in 2019, that we either just received today or are still waiting for. Yet we've been paying the lease payments for these cars since 2019.
No, we don't pay for it until we actually get the car.
So we don't. So we have no money out the door until we've actually received them in the form that we want. I just want to confirm that.
When we receive the car, we start paying for it.
Okay.
So that-
I just
that
wanted to make sure.
Start paying it. We
Let me
paying
correct it.
Is it my
today.
understanding that these cars are already paid for? And what about the insurance?
They're put on the town's insurance. We have a fleet, and as soon as we get the vehicles licensed with a tag on it, they are put on the town's insurance. Those are not yet because they don't have a tag and they're not put on the list yet.
Okay. Now you have a I walk the garage all the time. That's why I know all this stuff. Do you have a white lorry? That's what we call it in Ireland, a white truck that's sitting in the garage. Nobody uses it. Why can't that be used for training? It's sitting there gathering dust. The police department paid for that out of their budget, and nobody is using it. So, ¿qué pasó?
Well, Mrs. Kennedy, I don't know if it's a white truck. It's probably not police. It's probably public works. And I can't answer your question directly until I know what you're
Well,
talking about.
Pablo Lima's on the phone, on the line, correct?
That might not be a police vehicle. It might be a public works vehicle. I can tell you that in the last few months, we have been getting the old vehicles and selling them on auction. We've sold at least 3 or 4, I believe, Alba, in the last couple of months. So
Two.
Sorry, Marlene.
recently, just like last week, we sold 2, and before that, we had sold another 2. So we're getting rid of them. The ones that we're not using, or the ones that have met their lifespan here. So all these vehicles are getting either sold on auction or the new ones that are being replaced.
My only purpose here is to save money. We're losing money, as you know, because of the pandemic and whatever, Church by the Sea, the garage, the school. And why do we have to buy another car, another water truck when we already have one that sits in the parking lot every day that I go to town hall?
Again, this is a replacement vehicle for something that got totaled. The police has a program where they replace the older vehicles for new vehicles. Next year's budget, actually, all of the new vehicles got cut, so it's even more important that we buy this one this year.
We have no money, right? We're trying to downsize all our budgets, correct? This is what I'm hearing.
Half of the payment on this vehicle is insurance, the payment that we're getting back, $14,000. So the difference is what we're paying for.
So in other words, there was a car that was totaled and we got the insurance money for it. And
There you go.
we're replacing the car with part of the insurance money. And until whatever car we get, we do not pay insurance or anything else until it actually arrives in our hand. Is that correct?
No.
That's correct.
Okay.
Are we
Thank
obliged to have a car for every officer?
Yes. It's a take-home vehicle, honestly.
We
All
are
right, so
three
each-
officers have left, so where are their
each-
cars?
Each vehicle is, I mean, each officer is entitled to a vehicle?
That's correct. And the only one that's not entitled to a vehicle is a school resource officer, which that vehicle, he uses a vehicle, and that vehicle is kept in the garage. Used as a
Frank,
Thank you.
Frank, was any claim ever made against the driver, driver that hit the officer?
That's not something that Frank would normally handle. That's our
No,
insurance.
but I figure if he would know if anything happened.
Wait a second.
Not criminal procedure. I'm talking about, was any insurance claim made against them?
I don't recall ever being provided with that information. I
That's
didn't
not,
even know about the car being totaled.
yeah, that's not something that the town attorney normally handles. That's something that our insurance
The
attorney.
insurance company would normally do, but I'm just, we only got a small percentage of the value of the car. Obviously, our policy only covers a certain amount, but that's, problematic as it is.
The deductible was $1,000.
It's 1,000, but you're talking about a $36,000 car or $40,000 car and a $12,000 claim.
14, but.
14,000. I'm just saying there's a
Vehicles,
difference.
vehicles lose, as you know, the money, the minute you drive it off the dealership is worth less money.
I understand, but you can also, but our policy could also be full replacement, not necessarily, the present value. So I'm just wondering why, if that's what we left at, and you can also go after for the surplus, any difference after the other party. And I'm wondering why we didn't do so.
Well, that doesn't mean we didn't do so. I don't have the information right now to give it to you, but I can inquire with our insurance.
Please do.
Yes.
I have a question of the chief.
Yes.
Chief, and in reference to this particular vehicle, that's a 4x4 high water, is this vehicle going to be assigned to anyone as a take-home vehicle, or will it be a spare?
It'll be assigned to one of the training officers.
So it will be a take-home vehicle?
Correct.
Okay. I mean, I'm not in the habit of micromanaging the chief's decisions. I was kind of hoping when I saw, that high water vehicle is definitely necessary for us and good to have at times. But I would expect that would be a lot more expensive to, take a 50-mile-an-hour round trip possibly to someone's home. I know there's one other vehicle, but it doesn't go very far. So
That's correct. The person that's going to be assigned doesn't live that far out of the town, and
okay.
is recently when we thought we were going to be the different storms coming through, we'd make sure that
Right.
the vehicle that we have would be available. The high vehicles will be available to the officers to use. So we would swap them out and make sure of that. But
Right.
we want the vehicle to be maintained and also to carry some of the equipment that we use for training. That's why the reasoning getting at. So twofold: one, having the space to carry some of the equipment that we need for training, and the second part of that is having a high vehicle that for water. Listen, we hope it doesn't happen here, but guys, we live on two different islands. We want to make sure that we are able to get to our residents if we need to.
Sounds good.
Okay, anybody else have any questions regarding this? Nope.
Mayor,
Okay,
we have
Alba,
one more person that wishes to speak.
okay, please
Is Newhood?
name and
Francis Newhut, 1060 Kane Concourse. Did we really have a fair Bay Harbor town election when council rescheduled our town election for August 18th, 2020, and the supervisor elections was called concerning town staff, COVID-19, contamination, and shutdown of our entire town hall for part of this period? Similar to other municipalities and the President of the United States, why can't council give other town citizens an opportunity to be on council and allow Bay Harbor Island town citizens the right to vote on whether or not they want term limits and an elected mayor on the November 2020 ballot? Wouldn't this make the entire Bay Harbor Island town election process easier so non-incumbent candidates can run for electoral office? Not surprisingly, incumbents are opposed to term limits.
Ms. Newhut, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you're off, Ms. Newhut. You are off the
This is
item that
public comment, and I can talk about anything.
Okay, you have 2 minutes.
Did I miss
Ms.
3 minutes on that? Council
Nope.
allegedly writing our town charter. August 2009, a previous town had stated, your concerns will be addressed through our charter and ordinance committee that was eliminated, and it will come before the public, and it never happened. And this was 11 years ago. Unfortunately, since April 2007, Bay Harbor town elections, an alleged tactic, is being used against innocent, naive candidates who come to the plate and run against two or more very powerful and experienced incumbents at the same time. This has allegedly been occurring too many times when innocent candidates would ask the town clerk to help them write in whatever is wrong or missing on their campaign treasurer's reports, and instead would be turned in for violations at the end of elections with lawsuit estimates of plus or minus $100,000, including attorney fees. I would like to thank candidate Roger Santana for not only being the only candidate to step up to the plate when nobody else was running. He did not run a campaign for personal gain, nor did he accept contributions from town vendors and service people. It is sad to say he too, in the 8/21/2020 Miami Herald article on the recent Bay Harbor town election, was also an innocent, naive candidate who allegedly may have committed violations, according to a well-known attorney stating, "It appears that these are some pretty serious violations of campaign finance law." These maneuvers appear to discourage new people all the time from running in our elected office. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Minette. Anybody else? Alba, is there anybody else?
No, that is all, Mayor.
Okay. Okay, let's move to our consent agenda, please.
I'll
I'd like
move
to
it.
pull number 6.
Okay. Okay, then we'll pull number 6. Anybody else before we consent? Nope. Okay, all those in favor with pulling out number 6?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to call for it.
No, I don't think we have to even
No,
take a
we have to
vote.
do a poll vote for the consent.
We need a
Yeah.
vote.
Oh, no, we don't
Okay.
actually. If we,
Actually,
oh, yeah,
no,
we
we
do,
don't
we
need
do.
a proposal.
Because you pull out number 6, we don't, right?
Right, okay.
We
Let's
need
do
a
everything
motion.
but,
We need a motion.
I do need a motion.
I moved it.
Second.
Second it.
Thank you.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Stephanie, before you go on, I just want to mention that Councilmember Yaffe, who put a couple of these resolutions on our agenda, is absolutely positively earning his Home Rule Hero Award.
yay.
You're muted,
Good
Bob.
job. Good job, Bob. Okay, number
Thanks,
6.
Elizabeth. I was saying we meet, Miami-Dade County League meets every Tuesday. We've now switched starting tomorrow from 9 a.m. meetings to 3:30 in the afternoon meetings. So,
Oh, really?
yes.
Okay. Well.
It's banking hours.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's pull number 6. All right, Jordan.
Yeah, I pulled it because I have to admit, this is the first time I've ever read the agenda item for the insurance and read something like this. This is a first for me. It says specifically that there's a deal breaker to cut off Florida Blue and to go with other companies, specifically Neighborhood and United Health. I just want to ask, so Neighborhood is 6%, a 6% decrease, and United is an 8% decrease from the current fiscal year. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
Your phone. Is that your phone?
that's it.
We're pretty happy about that.
No,
Okay,
that's great. Usually it's 20%, 25% increase. So it's nice that it's going down. So that's very good.
Okay, anybody else have any questions regarding item number 6?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, poll vote.
Do we have a motion?
Motion.
I'll move it.
Somebody.
Second.
Okay, poll vote, Alba.
Councilmember Yaffe,
Or
Councilmember Tricoche,
Four.
Councilmember Salver,
Or
Councilmember Reed,
Four.
Councilmember Leonard,
4.
Vice Mayor Fuller,
4.
Mayor Bruder.
4.
It's unanimous.
Okay, before we leave, I want to wish those who are celebrating Friday a new year. May you have a healthy and sweet new year for the coming year.
amen.
You too.
Amen.
You too.
Okay, everybody stay safe. Happy New Year. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Not to-
Bye, everybody.